Well, hello, everyone. It is TexAgs Rewind on a Monday. Nick, you had a good weekend, huh?
I did. I went skiing, rocking the Taos Ski Valley hat. I got a shirt, but I didn't want to be a total goober and, come in like all New Mexico gear. That would look pretty dumb.
I don't think I've heard the term goober from a man.
We say goober back here all the time.
Do you
have
really?
no idea. Goober, doofus.
Huh.
We've heard Billy say schlemiel, so we've kind of adopted that a little bit.
But goober is one I could hear a teacher saying, like in third grade math.
Stop
being a goober, Nuno.
That's perfect. It's like it encapsulates what a goober is. It's just someone being silly. It's perfect.
Not a goober. The newest addition to Texas A&M. We're looking forward to that big wide receiver pickup. Tom Hart was on the show. We talked about that. We had Buzz Williams on the show. Buzz kind of looked back at the Kentucky game. I know people had their opinions. It was a physical game. They had a lot of turnovers, and they got out-rebounded. Yet they had a chance there at the end. We talked about that and looking ahead to Auburn. And Billy Liucci on just about everything. It is TexAgs Rewind. Tyrin Smith, wide receiver, UTEP wide receiver, has transferred to Texas A&M. There could be others here in the works, but people are really excited about him.
71 catches for 1,039 yards and 7 touchdowns last year. Now, you could say, well, they're playing in that whatever conference UTEP is in now. Quite frankly, I can't even remember. But, he had 8 catches for 71 yards against Oklahoma. That's big-time football, and he went out there and was productive. He had 4 catches for 99 yards and a touchdown against UTSA. Well, they may not be Power 5, but I guarantee UTSA is better than a lot of Power 5 teams.
They can move the ball like Power 5, yeah.
Right. So, the guy was productive. Middle Tennessee, say what you want about them. He had 10 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown. 2 touchdowns against Charlotte. And sometimes, quite frankly, I don't know what the quarterback situation at UTEP was. I haven't paid attention to UTEP quarterbacking since Jamil Showers was there. So
it's been a minute.
But, here's a guy that has played at a collegiate level and has been extremely productive. So that looks like a good get to me.
Not only does it look like a good get, that wide receiver room where people were very worried about, beyond Evan, could be really strong with Noah, with Evan. Who am I missing here? Moose.
And maybe
Anias. You add like a Tyrin Smith and the freshman, that's becoming a position of like, okay, I see what we're doing there.
I'm not too concerned about the wide receiver position.
Is there a fan base that's harder on you than others?
Who's the hardest on me? Yes, there definitely is. And the reverse of that is there's some fan bases that I have more grace with than others that show me grace when I make mistakes. Because if you talk for 2 hours straight, you're definitely going to make mistakes. The A&M fan base would be up there.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. Yeah. Good thing I'm not sensitive.
Hey, but I will ask you, in your world, and I would say anytime you do a national type of gig, right? National radio show, play-by-play TV. Everybody thinks you're against them. Is that how sometimes you feel like it's very rare that you hear from people, hey, man, you were so you showed a lot of favoritism to us. Thank you so much.
If you get it from both sides, as many people point out, if you get it from both sides, you're doing it right. What makes it hard to do anytime you do a Kentucky game, and I would say more of this than Alabama football or pick your biggest brands in college sports, right? Kentucky is a absolute monster in every way. And so the way that program is covered, the attention they get, the viewership that they get, it creates an imbalance, right? Like John Calipari is a big personality in the sport of college basketball. Everybody has an opinion. So whether Kentucky is winning every game or losing every game or somewhere in the middle, they're a headline grabber. And so the floor gets tilted that direction. And it's really, honestly, I was thinking about this, it's really hard to pull yourself away from the Kentucky storylines, no matter who they're playing, like into the opponent. And I would say similar to Nick Saban, but even more so than Alabama football. So yeah, that's the challenge. As you know, we don't care who wins or loses. No impact on us. What we want is close games. And I thought, I don't know, did you feel like we're imbalanced?
That part to me was encouraging because I thought there was a lot of adversity that the team had to fight through on Saturday.
Yeah, I think Liucci, our fight was tremendous.
Yep.
I think that level of fight is almost a prerequisite to win on the road, particularly in that environment against that type of team and that talented of a team. I'm glad that we're not talking about our fight and that we're not talking about our effort.
Yeah.
But I think once you have that level of effort, the line and the delicate line or the negative margin that you have to play from in that environment requires you to play with an ultra high level of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think some of our turnovers were undisciplined, but part of our discipline is the pressure that we put on the rim. Like, we got to the rim 44% of our possession, which is tremendous. And we shot 65% at the rim, which is tremendous. The problem is we didn't get enough of those. And we didn't get enough of that because we only had 4 offensive rebounds. Going into that game, we were the number 1 offensive rebound percentage team in the league. Going into that game, we were the number 2 defensive rebound percentage team in the league. And after that game, now we're number 2 in both of those categories. And yes, we're glad that we're 2, but in that game, if we would have stayed at that rate that we had been playing,
Yep.
then we're going to have a chance. But when a team shoots 18 more balls, it's just hard. And the pressure that they put on you at the rim, you have to make a choice. That was the first time in however many games 34 didn't have a double-double. Yes, we made the decision we were not going to let 34 beat us. Well, when you do that, there's going to be other things that you're giving up. And they shot it better from 3 than they have in a long time. Credit to them. But you have to make a decision when you're playing a team that has the leading rebounder in the country and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And for the most part, we did pretty good in that regard. But we have to have more shots than the opponent. It's how we're built. It's how it's designed. And so much of I think after 3 weeks, I think our offense is ranked 2nd. Our defense is ranked 3rd, I think is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But a portion of the reason why our offense is good is because we get so many extra opportunities on the offensive glass, and then we also get fouled. Well, when you turn it over 23% of the time, not only is it going to be broken floor on the other end when they're live ball turnovers, but the flip side of that is when we turn it over, we don't have an opportunity to get an offensive rebound, obviously, and we don't have an opportunity to get fouled. And both of those things we're dependent on. Yes, we want to shoot a high percentage, but we've done a really good job of when we miss, we get it back. When we miss, we have an opportunity to get fouled. And when you turn it over and you negate those 2 things, it's bad math for our team to have to overcome.
Marble left the game for a little bit there. Marble was in foul trouble. So was Sheboy. I was wishing they could have attacked him even more. But he did foul a lot, and they didn't call it.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have picked up his 4th foul much sooner than he did. You didn't have Marble for a long stretch there to really attack. Not that long of a stretch, but a stretch there when you could have gone after him. And then when you had Coleman in there, he too was 1 foul away from being in trouble there. So it changed up kind of how you could have even attacked Sheboy to try to get him out. And again, like I said, the guy was fouling. He was hacking, throwing elbows at midcourt. I thought it was pretty goonish behavior by him. Lost some respect for how he plays. But I'm okay with it. Like, do what Marble did. Shove his ass down.
Yeah.
Go in there and fight back against him. And by the way, the reason Marble left the game wasn't a shot from a Kentucky player. That was Dexter Dennis running into him. Mm-hmm. They were both fighting for a rebound. But look, they had certain guys that weren't on their game. They, as a team, just didn't quite, again, the turn. And Kentucky had something to do with that. Those are elite players and athletes on that side, and they're starting to figure it out. But like Buzz said, they gave up something to diminish Sheboy's impact, and then they were hitting shots. Now, some of those were wide open, and maybe having Solomon out there, he covers a little more ground on the closeout. Maybe how did that factor in?
Absolutely.
He is a weapon in that regard, and he seems that the hustle and the length he's got there, it definitely hurt them not having him. But the other thing was, I thought they down the stretch, Kentucky hit some actual not wide open threes, but some tough shots.
They did.
They had one guy heats up, hits a couple of tough runners there that it kept A&M at bay. It kept the pressure from like firmly being on Kentucky.
Nick, how often am I wrong on my tweet on which episode this show is?
To be honest, I don't look at it, but
okay,
I knew they were kind of disconnected. How wrong were you today?
No, I was right.
You're right.
But like, I sometimes look at it, it's like, man, I don't think I was right last week. But no, I think I was dead on. Episode 2954. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.